here we go. I'm in the modules, and you see there's two parts to this. There's the assignment directions, and then the place where you turn in your finished assignment. So let me just go ahead, click on the assignment directions, and you can see this has several tabs in this page. So here we are in the introduction. So what we're going to do is download a folder with some demo files in it. Before we get going, we've got to do something. If we're working on a Mac, we're going to basically be using three apps as we do this assignment. First, there'll be the Finder app, which is the equivalent of Windows Explorer, and that's going to help us, navigate, find the files and that kind of thing that the Finder does. Then we're also going to be viewing our HTML pages in a browser. I'm using Chrome. You could use Firefox or another web browser. So that is the app that knows how to read HTML and will display the pages that you're working on. And then finally, something you may not have used before, we're going to use a text editor, which is a kind of a very simple cousin to the word processor. And basically what it's going to do is edit the code on the page. First off, because I'm on a Mac, I have to follow the directions here, which says before you open the files, verify these settings in text edit. So if you're on a Mac, you're going to be using text edit. If you're on a PC, you're going to be using Notepad, and you won't be needing to do this. But on a Mac, text edit has a few things we need to prepare. So you can find text edit maybe in your doc, certainly in your applications folder, and also you could find it through searching with Spotlight if you need to. So let me open up text edit here, and it is telling me I need to go into text edit, go into preferences, and switch this to plain text, and make sure you uncheck smart quotes. And then I'm going to go over here, open save, and I'm going to tell it to, it says here, display HTML files as HTML code. That's what we want, because otherwise text edit would display things as a web page, which doesn't help us. Okay, so those settings are done. And that is good, because now we'll be able to continue on the instructions. Now you need to download and unzip these HTML assignment files. So you're going to download this and find out where it is, and you're going to open it, and there it is. And so on your Mac, it is going to automatically unzip, which means the folder as it exists online has been zipped. It's been compressed, and it needs to be unzipped. And here it is. In its zipped form, you can see there's a tiny little sort of zipper on the file. By double-clicking it, it has opened up into the assignment files already. If you're on a PC, you're probably going to have a helper app that will do the same thing for you. You can't do the work until it's unzipped. So find out how to do that if you're on a PC. Double-click on a Mac, and you're good. I'm going to move this over onto my desktop just so I know where it is while I'm working. And so there it is. That's the folder of HTML files all ready for me to work on. So as I said, you don't need to copy this. You always have the archived version. You have the compressed zip file in your downloads folder. If you ever mess things up and you need to go back, you can always just unzip another copy of it from there. So don't worry. I want you to work directly into this folder. And the first thing I'm asking you to do is to change the name of this folder to HTML_ first initial last name. And that's because once you finish everything on this, you're going to compress this and upload it to me again. So why don't we have already the correct name as we go into this. So HTML_, and then it's M. Cecil for me, and whatever your first initial and last name is for you. So there, I have changed it. Okay, and now I think that's all we had to do on page 1. So if you've got this going, that's pretty good. Notice we've got the Finder app open, and we've got a web browser, Chrome, open, just to follow along, but eventually we're going to use that in order to view our files as well. So coming up, I'm moving over to the tab for page 1. and there's a bunch of things that I'm going to ask you to do on this page. Most of the instructions are written on the page itself. So what we want to do first of all is we're going to open up page 1 in our HTML. So let's head over here. Here it is, page 1. I'm going to double click on it, and it's going to open. Well, it's opening up in Firefox. Things could be worse. That's our default helper app, so we'll let it work in Firefox. And here it comes. Here's our first page. So notice the instructions are actually on the page. Change this header text. We've got to do that. Change the font size and color of this paragraph. Remove the italics. Make the font bold. Change this text. And then we're going to change the background color of the page, and we're going to change this picture of this little kitten that says, "Change me." And then it says, add another copy of your image here, but make it smaller than the one above. So we have to do all of those things. And the information for how to do that is going to be in W3, and I'll also do it right now so that you can see that. So here, by the way, are links to tutorials on how to change the HTML headings and how to change the text styles in paragraphs as well. So that's what I said. If you need a little bit of help, just open these up. Let us do the next thing that we've got to do here. So we've got the page open here, but then this is the tricky part. Perhaps conceptually, I'm also going to open the same file up in TextEdit. Okay, so I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say open with. Where is that? Open with, and I'm going to open with TextEdit. Okay, and so here it is, the exact same thing that I'm viewing in my browser. This is the text that behind the scenes is actually running things. So you can see up here there's the typical header that identifies this as an HTML file, so your browser knows what it's looking at. And now if I go down here, I see, oh, I got to change this title here. So I'm going to call this Malcolm's page. I'm not even going to put in call it Malcolm page. So there, I've done that. Now I'm going to change the color. Let me change this to, let's say, pink. All right. And then it says change this header text. So I'm going to say, here's page 1. All right, and so that's the header text there. Notice the header is defined by this tag, H1 text. And so if I wanted to change it, I could go H2 or H3, which are going to display somewhat differently. So now I made some changes here in TextEdit, and I'm going to save those changes so that I can see what they look like on my browser. So I'll go up here and I'll go save, or you could just do the shortcut for save. Come over on your browser. Doesn't look any different now, right? But let's refresh the page by either clicking onto this little icon here, and you'll find something similar in Chrome, or you could also just use the shortcut Command R there. So, but let's just refresh, and whoa, there we go. Check it out. There's my change to the background. I wrote in pink, and then there's also the changed header up here. Okay, so terrific. I'm already part way there. So let's go back into TextEdit now and do some more changes just for fun. And actually, let's change the color from pink to something hexadecimal, okay, which I believe was like FFF. And then 00. I think that's going to give us something interesting when we refresh. But for now, let's go check this out. It says change the font size and color of this paragraph, remove the italics, and make the font bold. Okay. And then it says change this text, write about anything that you would like. So let's check this out. First thing we need to do is change the font size. So check it out. Here is the style attribute for font size. It's at 20 pixels. Let's make it, I don't know, 36 pixels, okay? Change the background color of the page. Well, we actually did that because it's a fun effect to show you. And then the next thing we got to do is we're going to make things from italic, right? We got to remove the italics. And so we changed the font size. We're basically just looking for the I. Here is the I. So we're going to change this to B. And whoops, go for lowercase here, B. And we also have to close it here. So notice the difference, and W3 will explain this a lot better than me, but when you do a style attribute like the tag B is for bold, you also have to tell it when to take bold off. So that's what the /B comes at the end. And a lot of tags will have like an open and closed version just like that. So now we've changed the font size. We need to change the color of this paragraph. So let's go change this to, why don't we make this sort of a middle gray. So we're going to go 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. How many have I got sixes there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, I think. All right, you got to get this exactly and hope that it works out for you. And finally, I can write about anything that I like by changing this. So when we're going to change the writing, we want to make sure that we don't grab any of the tags, but we're only changing the plain text that's between the writing. And now I'm just going to write, hello world. This is my first page, okay? And, right, so now remember again, save here in text edit. So we save the changes to the file. Come back over here to the browser and refresh. And here we go. We've got, here's page 1. So now we have changed the background to a neutral gray. We have this. And we can go on to, I think we're getting it. Can't remember exactly what my instructions are here. Let's see here. We were supposed to change the background color, so we can do this again. Background color, let's go up here and go to, yeah, we changed. Let's go back to pink. I like the pink. And hit save. All right, now move on, change the background color of the page. So we managed to do that. And change the picture below. Okay, so pictures are all stored in the image folder that came with the big download. Notice you have your 4 HTML pages and you have a folder here with images in it. It's got the cat, it's got right? So it's a cute little cat. It's got a city college, and it's got that change me picture, all right? So this is what we want to change. So the way that our code is working here says, here is the image attribute that we're working on right now. So it says here there's an image with no border. And here it gives the source for the image. So this is the file that's going to be shown on the page. So notice it says it's images / changemecat.jpg. So what this is telling, it's telling the browser, go look in the images folder and display the file changemecat.jpg. And if we look here into the folder, that's right, it's in images, and here's that file, changemecat. So I want you to notice the hierarchy here. In this same subfolder, right, are the web pages and also the image file folder where the web pages go looking for the pictures that are supposed to be displayed. All right. So if this images folder wasn't there, if we moved it or deleted it, those pages wouldn't know where to go looking for a picture. All right. Now I want to substitute a picture. I'm going to put my own picture in there. And so on the desktop, I actually have a picture, and I am going to just open up a new Finder window quickly here and go over on the desktop. And there's my picture. It's in San Francisco skyline. So I'm going to copy it into the images folder. All right, so that's very important. Got to make sure that the picture you want to substitute is in the images folder. And now take note of the name of it, sfsky1.jpg, because you have to actually get that exactly. So one thing, that's you gotta copy that exactly in here. So sfsky1.jpg. So let me do here. I'm gonna, instead of changemecat.jpg, I'm gonna replace it with sfsky1.jpg. Okay, I leave in place the images folder, right? And I also tell it, I keep the same size for now. All right, so let's see what happens. I'm going to go save, and then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to see the background change, and I'm going to see the picture change. And there we go. So the background became pink, and here's that picture of the SF skyline that I put in there. Now it says here, add another copy of your image, but make it smaller than the one above. So let's head back over to the code. I just want to copy this again, right? So let me copy this. I'm just doing like in any word processor, highlight, and then, let's actually do that for you up on the screen. So I'm going to go edit, copy, just like you would do in a word processor. And now I'm going to go down a line. I'm going to paste it again. Whoops. And now I'm going to go paste. So it's the same thing, but now this time I want to change the size of it. So let me cut it in half. I'm going to go 200 by 150. So you see what I did is I changed the width and the height that this will be displayed. And that's it. I also want to change the alt text here, I guess, which is, it's important when you put images online. People who can't see the image but are reading the page need to know what they're could be looking at, and so it's always good to describe with a little alt attribute what it is they're seeing. So you won't see that, but it's kind of, if someone is just reading the page through a different type of reader for someone who can't see, this will help them. All right, so we made some changes. What do we need to do? We go File, Save, and finally come over here, and look, we managed to put a smaller version of the same picture simply by copying the code and changing the height and width attribute like that. And it says finally erase this text or write something else in here. So again, you don't want to delete any of the tags. What you want to do is just delete or change whatever is written here. And so you could write, haha, I made the picture 200 pixels by 150 pixels. Once again, you made a change. Be sure to save the change in your text editor and come over here and you can display it here. And it says, haha, I made the picture 200 pixels by 150 pixels. I didn't quite delete everything else in the instructions. So let's just do that. And again, save, and I have a feeling you get the idea. Yeah, there you go. So you could clean it up a little bit more, but that's basically everything was done on that page, and kind of shows you the way of working with one browser open, one text edit window open. So as you make changes over here, you save them in the text editor, and then you come over here, you refresh the page, and you will see them reflected in your browser. So once you're done with page one, look, all of your changes have been saved here. So that's terrific. And that means that this page one has now been edited by you, and it's ready to turn into me. So move on to page two. Do the stuff that's on page 2 and 3 and 4. And as you do it, you'll be saving progressively. So once you finish up, you will have all of the pages edited, and you'll have the images file with the extra images that you've added in. You don't need to delete what was sent to me unless you really want to. that's fine if you just leave them alone as well, because as you can see, whatever's in the images folder, you may not actually see it on a page unless it's referenced in the code. So let's say I've finished everything up and I want to submit this assignment. What I'm going to do is go back out here and see, notice, remember you changed the name of this already, so it's got the required file name as well. And so now right click on it and say compress, and it's going to zip it up again, and here I am. I have my final file that I can submit to this assignment. So remember, I only did one of the pages. You're going to be doing all 4 pages, but I hope this got you started. And when it is time to submit, you're going to go to this prompt here, HTML, submit zipped folder here. And you're going to, well, this is my version. I can't submit anything, but you're going to find a big red submit button up here and navigate and upload that zipped folder, and that will be as easy as that. All right, I hope this was helpful, and good luck with it. And I will be monitoring the discussion to try to help as well, just online. Take care.